Hello, welcome to our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. Trump made an incredible deal. Boy, this guy is a deal maker. I cannot believe what he's done. This incredible deal will blow your mind. Plus, 3i Atlas is still headed towards Earth, and there's 1 million people with 1 million pictures of it, so we don't know what's coming. Anyway, Trump convinced Europe to spend $100 billion on weapons and buy them from the United States, weapons we don't have, to supply troops in the Ukraine with weapons, and the troops don't exist in the Ukraine. More on this in a little bit. Zero Hedge had a fabulous article on this. Anyway, he also has a 15% tariff on Europe, and if Europe has something like a 50% tariff on U.S. goods, then that good has a 50% tariff coming into the U.S. Tit for tat. Don't play with the United States. The big boys are home. Anyway, a little bit about you and I. We're living on the edge, you and I. I talked with a neighbor yesterday who's waiting for a bank statement to find out what bills he can pay. He doesn't have that extra month in the bank. Now, most of us, well, we try to have an extra, bills are anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month, and we try to keep that extra amount in the bank. Well, most people can't have that anymore. It's done. America's on the edge. We'll talk about that in a later video. But vegetables are up 40%. Coffee's up 25%. I go to Simply Clean Foods. It's the same price. I get Pistol Pack and Mama coffee. I can get Immusisit from Simply Clean Foods. Just remember 737-400. Those are the planes that keep falling out of the sky. 737-400, $20.66. SimplyCleanFoods.net. .com exploded. Anyway, these are peas, and what I was impressed about is peas, not only do they taste good, they're crunchy and they make you feel good. If you eat dinner and you want to go to sleep, you've been poisoned. I learned that a long time ago when I had to kill one of my turkeys because it broke its thigh. It got too fat and heavy. When you eat homegrown turkey, there is no tryptophan. You don't go to sleep. When you eat these peas and the apple and everything else from chance, you don't go to sleep. There's no poisons. There's no RNA. There's no dead bodies. There's no toxic waste on the food. It's just flat out clean food. No arsenic as a pesticide. Oh, you ought to see what the Department of Agriculture allows for pesticides and herbicides. My God. Anyway, so you get clean food, simplycleanfoods.net. The link will be below. Okay, that hit on to the next story. They hit on Trump. Natalie Jones from Indiana, who flew to New York City, then to Washington, D.C., had a party and claimed she was going to kill Trump. FBI. That was purely an FBI stance to take your eye off the ball because there was a hit attempt through the air on the 4th of August we warned Trump about. So the FBI had to have their own hit that the great terrorists, the heroes of America, the hero terrorists, captured. It's all fake. Natalie Jones, the whole story is fake. That's probably pretty top secret, so you all have a security clearance for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes while watching this show. And more flooding on the East Coast caused by hurricane, I think it's Aaron. Anyway, NASA, the 55th and 60th Air Wing are still killing Americans and destroying America. While Trump is trying to rebuild our economy, NASA's trying to kill us. And there's 100,000 acre fire in Wyoming. If you've ever tried to fight a 100,000 acre, you're running most of the time. I remember one time the fire ran over me and I was laying there, couldn't breathe, and a friend of mine was on the fire and he found 3 buttons. These guys put the fire tent around him and all that was left on a brush fire in LA was 3 buttons. Their fire suit dissolved, their fire tent dissolved, their bodies were burned up. 3 brass buttons. That's all that was left to the firefighters. I remember hopping hot rocks and I just paid $35 for new Vibram soles. I wore them out in less than 15 minutes on the hot rocks. Those fires are hot and destructive, and NASA is killing thousands upon thousands of people, burning homes down in Wyoming by drying out Wyoming. While Trump's trying to make a deal and harvest things from Wyoming, NASA is shooting him in the foot. Unbelievable evil coming out of NASA. Pray that NASA is shut down and the 55th and the 60th Air Wing are shut down. And we've got all kinds of strange beasts coming out of Fort Lewis. Sometimes they evacuate southern Fort Lewis because they go underground there where the animal supply point is and the aliens, and they test out new animals like chupacabra and all kinds of weird stuff. Well, out of Colorado, Fort Collins, the Air Force Base, there are these rabbits growing horns. It's not a virus. They sprayed RNA on them to see what would happen. Now they're spraying the RNA across the vegetable crops. Why do you think we go to Simply Clean Foods? I don't want to start growing horns. You don't want to start growing horns either. Anyway, the FDA has warned the public that Walmart shrimp may be radioactive. I remember as a kid, they were selling crab for $1 a pound everywhere on the streets in Lafayette, California. Turned out it was radioactive crab that the USS Enterprise threw away, and some smart entrepreneur bought it, or just put it in a truck, sold it, and it was selling for $1 a pound. Radioactive crab all over the Puget Sound, or all over the San Francisco Bay Area. Of course, nobody said eat seaweed, eat sea vegetables and Immusisit. Nobody said that. So cancer rates skyrocketed. And then the shrimp now in Walmart, nobody's saying if you bought the shrimp, here's some free seaweed and Immusisit. Walmart doesn't care. They're supported by the government. And there are millions of driver's licenses that have been given to illegal aliens illegally. You can go to the DMV, and they're still doing it here in Washington State. They got a special test. You don't speak English, you take a special test. They take your ID, and you get a driver's license. We're violating federal and state laws. Pam Bondi told the blue states, you keep doing that, we'll cut off your federal funding. No arrests. We just got to cut off your federal funding. Good job, Pam Bondi. Homeland Security should arrest the governors, but they're too wimpy to. So, in Kentucky, I think they've already suspended 15,000 licenses. The eyes are focused on Kentucky. What about Washington, Oregon, and California, Maine, Massachusetts? What about all the libtard states that are handing these illegal licenses out? Why are the governors not in jail? Anyway, Trump's incredible deal. We're going to find out if Trump ever goes after him, or if they go. He still hasn't canceled the 100 million illegal aliens, refugees getting $8,000 a month. By the way, their pay goes up to $8,450 a month at the end of the year, and yours goes down because of the cost of medical. You have to pay for those 100 million illegal aliens. You 15 million retired. Kill the retired people. Kill the retired people. That's what the people who run Social Security. Kill the retired people. And Trump is not stopping the killing of retired people. Don't know why, but he's sure giving those refugees lots of money. Lots of them driving around. 3 refugee churches, all in brand new frickin' Acuras and Mercedes and S5 Beamers all over the neighborhood. Big, huge pickup trucks, all at $70,000, $80,000 a car, and they're all sucking off the government. Thank you, Donald Trump. You want to go to heaven? Do what God says. Don't try to earn your way into heaven. That never works. So, there are over 10,000 driver's licenses that have been revoked in Kentucky. It looks like there'll be close to maybe 1 million. And the incredible deal Donald Trump just made with Europe. Not only is it a 15% tariff, but he asked Europe, and they agreed, to pay $100 billion they don't have. So they're going to issue bonds backed by the United States, so when the euro dies, the United States dollar dies. They're going to spend $100 billion to buy weapons from the United States that the United States doesn't have to go to Ukrainian soldiers that don't exist. Now let me explain what $100 billion will buy. On a wholesale basis, it'll buy 100 million AR-15s with ammo. And the AR-15 is a lot more reliable than what the military has, because it's a commercially made AR-15. Everybody can say, no, it's $1,000. It's $1,000 a piece. It's $1,000. No, it's not. Not on a wholesale basis. $500, and then there's about a ton of government taxes. Gasoline is $2 without government taxes. Ours is $5.15 because we have government taxes. The pistol you buy for $400 is $250 government taxes. Because somebody's got to support the illegal alien and their refugees. You have to support them. Trump said he'd eliminate them, but he ain't doing it. 20 here, 200 there, 400. He's got to eliminate 40 million illegal aliens, get them out of the country, and he's got to stop 100 million refugees from collecting $8,000 a month, plus free medical, plus free dental. I go to the dentist, and an illegal alien goes in, he gets $15,000 worth of work done. I quiver when I hear about $3,000 of work, because the VA won't pay it because I refuse their LSD. Trump won't intervene, and he's going to earn his way back into heaven. Here's what the King of Kings and Lord of Lords says: I don't want anything to do with you, Trump. You haven't done one thing I asked you to do, Trump. But we'll see. Maybe he's going to change. Maybe God's going to kick him in the butt and change him. We're going to find out. We're praying for it. So this $100 billion will either buy 100 million M16s with ammo or 100 Patriot missiles. Now, what do you think they're going to buy with it? $15 billion is going to be in commissions to European and American leaders. Keep that conflict going. That $15 billion pays a lot of congressmen. Congress doesn't exist. It pays the Supreme Court, which doesn't exist. I think each Supreme Court member's made $2 to $3 million this year on books. The publishing company was given grants from the United States Corporation, and those grants have been given to the Supreme Court judges. So once you become a Supreme Court judge, you'll get $2 to $5 million extra a year. What a deal, right? What a money-making deal. And the congressmen are all going to stand up with the Ukrainian flag. Yay, Ukraine, pat my pocket, pat my pocket. So out of that, $15 billion will go into commission. $60 billion will stay in Brussels and D.C. We don't know where it's going to go. And $15 billion will go to the drug lords. Patriot missiles, drones, M16s, submachine guns, M60s across the border into Mexico by the U.S. military. And $10 billion will go to the Ukrainian soldier. Right now, they're getting 20,000 reinforcements a month, and 20,000 are leaving, and 40,000 are dying. So the number of Ukrainians on the ground is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, from 300,000 to 240, from 240 to 200. Pretty soon, Russia's just going to walk into Kiev. And Zelensky's sipping his chamomile tea in his mansion in Miami. As you, the taxpayers, get head up for more money, more money, more money, and Russia refuses to block those 5 paved roads going to the Ukraine because they want that conflict to continue. And Israel refuses to block the port bringing food into Yemen, so the war continues. Pray that these leaders are replaced. And God makes some adjustments on this planet. And now 3i Atlas is coming in, and the pictures keep changing, and YouTubers keep getting hits. Aliens are coming, aliens are coming. We'll see what happens. God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Coach Jimmy's coming up, so we may have some special videos for you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.